Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this session, we will discuss a graph in practical situations. This topic from mathematics course for O level and IGCSE level students. And in this topic, we will learn some conversion graphs, especially to draw graph from some given data, travel graphs, conversion graphs from different currencies and temperatures, and kilometer, miles, and kinematics involving some distance time graph, speed time graph, acceleration, decelerations, and distance travel by calculating the area from the speed time graph. So these are the things that we will learn in this chapter 24. So let's start from exercise 24.1. The exchange rate between the dollar and euro is 0.70. $1 is equivalent to 0.70 euro. Draw a conversion graph between dollar and euro for up to $100 and use your graph to convert $35 to euros and 60 euros to dollars. And so let's start this first question. The exchange rate between the dollar and euro is $1 is equivalent to 0.70 euros. So draw a conversion between a dollar and euros for up to $100. Use your graph to convert. So and from this, using this graph, we will have to convert $35 to euros and 60 euros to dollars. So we have drawn this graph from 0 to $100 on the x-axis and euros on the y-axis. So we know that this 70 euros, this 70 euros is equivalent to this $100. So we have draw this point, and this 0 is here. So we have draw this 0 to 70 and then this, and we make this straight line and intersecting this point. And now we are just observing in this graph that $35 is equivalent to, so we can calculate it, $35 into 70 euros divided by $1. So this $1 dollar sign will cancel and euro will be there. That $35 is equivalent to 35 times 0.70. So this gives 24.50. So this is 25.5 euro, which is equivalent to this $35, and this is 24.50 euro. And similarly, for the second part, we have to find this 60 euros. 60 euros is here, and that 60 euros is intersecting, and then that corresponding we can have to find the dollar, and that can also be converted easily through this way. 60 euros into $1 by 70 euros, and this euro will cancel with this euro, and then we 60 divided by 0.7 is equivalent to 85.7 euro. So this 60 euros conversion comes to $85.71. So this is from question number 1. Let's back to question number 2. The conversion graph is for pound and New Zealand dollar of amount up to 100 is given as this. So this is 100 is equals to 310 or 15. So let's start. Use graph to find the number of New Zealand dollar equivalent to 20 pound or 85 pounds. So New Zealand dollar, and use graph from the number of pounds equals to the New Zealand dollars. So New Zealand dollar, how many pounds are equivalent to New Zealand? $600. So this graph, pound to New Zealand dollar, 20 pounds equivalent to 20 pounds into 310 to $100. So we see that the 0 pound to 100 pounds is equivalent to 0 to 310 New Zealand dollar. So the conversion ratio is 1 to 3.1. So 1 pound is equivalent to 3.1 New Zealand dollar. So for this $20 pound, 20 pounds is equivalent to 20 pounds into New Zealand 310 and $100 pounds. So this pound will cancel with this sign, and then on simplification we obtain this. So 20 pounds British pounds is equivalent to 62 New Zealand dollars. Similarly for this 85 pound multiplied by this 310 and 100, and this sign will change and New Zealand dollar will appear. So 263.5 New Zealand dollars. So similarly for the part B, New Zealand dollar is 100 and we have to convert it into pounds. So pound 100 pound and divide by New Zealand dollar. So New Zealand dollar will cancel with this New Zealand dollar, and then the remaining amount can be calculated as this. So this is New Zealand dollar. This is sorry, pound. This is pound, 32 pounds. So 100 New Zealand dollar is equivalent to 32.26 pounds. Similarly for this $250 equivalent to this this New Zealand dollar will cancel, and then on simplification we have this 80.65 pounds. And similarly for this one, 600 pound to pound, and this 600 New Zealand dollar can be obtained as 193.55 pounds. And this can also be observed on the graph. This can be read from this graph as well. So this value can be read it here, equivalent to that. So sorry, on this graph, that 600 was extrapolated, so it was increasing, so the convergence can be easily been observed. Now in question number 3, we have given kilometers and miles graph, and that mile is basically 62 or 63 miles is equal to, or 62 miles is equivalent to 100 kilometers. So we have to convert this 40 kilometers and 65 kilometers into miles, and then 10 miles and 56 miles to kilometer, and how many kilometers are equal to 150 miles. We have to obtain this. So let's start question number 3. So 0 is equal to 100 kilometers. 0 to 100 kilometers is equivalent to 0 to 62 miles. So 40 kilometers is equal to 40 kilometers into 62 divided by 100 kilometers. This kilometer will cancel and the miles will be the resultant. So this 40 kilometers is equivalent to 24.8. This can be observed on the graph as well. So we can see this 40 kilometers equivalent to approximately 25 miles. This 40 kilometers and this 40 kilometers. So this 40 will go here, and on this graph we read that approximately 25. So that is 24 point something. So that's close, pretty close. That's 25 miles. So 65 kilometers is equal to 40.3 miles. So 65 kilometers. Similarly for 65 kilometers, that is 70, and then 65 is here. 65 is approximately 65 is here. 65 is 70. So 65 is here. Is approximately 40 point something. 40.3 miles. So similarly for this miles, to convert this, so we can also observe, we can calculate it here and we can check it from the graph, and that's pretty close to it. So how many kilometers are equal to 150 miles? 150 miles into 150 miles into 100 kilometers divided by miles. This mile will cancel and the value, numerical values appear with kilometers. So this 150 miles is equal to 241.9 kilometers. That is close to 242 kilometers. and this can all be verified on the graphs. So let's start question number 4. We have used a graph to find the temperature in Fahrenheit to Celsius, and use graph to find the temperature in Celsius equivalent to 100 Fahrenheit and 175. So this is question number 4. We have this graph. So we know that 32 Fahrenheit is equivalent to 0 Celsius. Here we have a Celsius, and on this axis we have Fahrenheit. So on Celsius degree, we see this 0 to 100 Celsius is equivalent to 32 to 212 Celsius. So this can be learned from here. So this graph, so we have to convert from 0 to 0. So we know that 0 Celsius is equal to 32 Fahrenheit. It can be read from the graph. 85 Celsius is equivalent to 185 Fahrenheit, because this is the relation 9/5 into this is Celsius, and it gives plus 32 is 185. So 85 Celsius can be read on the graph as 185 as 185 Celsius. So read it from here. 85 is around here, is equivalent to 185. Here we have 85, and it can be read as 185 approximately. Similarly, for 0 Celsius this, and Fahrenheit to Celsius, 100 Fahrenheit is equivalent to 37.8. It can be verified from the graph as well. It's close to, because this is calculations, it gets very accurate, but on the graph approximation will be obtained. So 170, we have this 76.6 Celsius, all can be verified from the graph. Now we have a travel graph. In this next session, we will discuss 24.2 in the travel graph topics.